Today we're gonna make a watermelon Suncatcher. The reason I chose that subject is because it's inspired by Janet Fish. So you'll need like a paper plate, and you're gonna wanna cut the center out of it. So I have like a template made, which all I did was, you wanna make more than one, all I did was fold the paper plate in half. And then I kind of drew the area I want, but since I have this template already, I am going to line the center up. You only need to do it basically on one side because you'll use this as your guide. Okay, then I'm going to take my scissors. It's going to look like that. Take my scissors and I'm just going to cut on the line. So then your paper plate. I'm going to take, you can use cardboard or possibly a sheet of paper. I have some really thin pressed board that I'm going to use. And in this project, I am going to use clear, transparent sheets of sticky back, self-adhesive. And in this project, you can also use plastic wrap. You have some at home if you don't have any of the transparency, which is fine. So, just a little bit more. There's no really true measurements for this because it depends on the size of your paper plate. If you're working with a smaller paper plate or a 9-inch or 10-inch, 12-inch paper plate, it matters. So it looks kind of like this. So what I'm going to do, this gets kind of tricky. I want my sticky part of my transparency to be up, back, like that. Hold that down, and then I'm going to take some masking tape. And I'm going to place it on the edge just enough so it will keep it laying down for me. Now, if you're using plastic wrap, you would just tear out a sheet and you would tape it just the same way. But the difference would be, you would probably want to use some Mod Podge for the plastic wrap to brush some glue down on top of it before you put your tissue paper on. So right here I have some cut up tissue paper already. I just cut some in squares and I have different colors. I have some lighter pink, I have some pinkish magenta, and I have some red. And you can use any color you want for your tissue or for your watermelon because they all kind of fall into that same color. I'm just going to kind of lay this, not on top because it will stick, but kind of get an idea, and I might just hold it because I think I might go with that kind of lighter color. So I'm just going to be able to take my tissue paper, and because of this adhesive, I am just able to place my tissue paper right on top and it sticks. And I just cut it in, they're different sizes, so there's no right or wrong on particular size that you need. And you kind of want it to overlap somewhat. And that way you have it all covered. And if you have a couple of holes open, So now that I have all my tissue paper on, I'm holding up my my rind, and I am going to just make a kind of a trace because there is some extra on here. So I kind of know a guideline where I'm going to eventually cut it off. So now with the transparency, I have another sheet of transparency. So what I'm going to do, you could probably leave it like this. I tend to add another layer of the transparency. It just kind of smooths it down, gives it a better look. Now I'm ready to peel. You want to grab the glue or the tape. Peel this off. So it'll look like this. Now I'm going to cut. And I'm just going to draw a line over to the other side. So you can kind of see it. You could take a ruler if you want, freehand, and then carefully cut across. So then I'm going to open up. And see, I rather cut a little larger. That way, it's better to have a little extra than cutting it too short. So I'm going to go back through and draw another. I'm going to trim that up. Now with the plastic wrap, it's a little more flimsier, but it's not hard to work with. And so it should look something like this. When you use the plastic wrap, it's what I did too. Once I put my tissue paper down on top of a layer of Mod Podge, I added another layer of Mod Podge on top, and then put another sheet of the plastic wrap down on top of that. So I had two sides of plastic on there. Okay, so now I'm going to set this aside for now. I'm going to go back to my rind, and I am just using different shades of green, and I'm going to color that in. And you can use markers, you can use paint. I just like the texture of the rub from the colors. So it's your choice. You can do whatever medium you would like. Colored pencils. All right, so now I have my rind colored. You want to do both sides. And one thing too, sometimes your folds don't match up evenly. You might have a little line of whiteness there. Just go ahead and color that inside part green also. It's better to do it now and then after trying to color it in once you're all done and you notice it. So that's what I did there. All right, so you're going to go back and you're gonna go ahead and place it in like this. Now, what I used to glue that, I used a glue stick, and it works fairly well. And then I'm just going to go open it up on the inside and just run some glue along your paper plate. Bring that flap over. Bring it down just like that. There. So then, because you have watermelon seeds in your watermelon usually, I'm going to take a black Sharpie and I'm going to make some like teardrops randomly as seeds. And you can put it as many as you want. And you can do it on both sides if you want. I'm going to take a paper punch. And you can have your watermelon hanging any way you'd like. You have it hanging this way or that way. If you want to hang it this way, you would put 2 punches on each side. So I kind of like that look better, so I'm going to punch this side. That side. So you can see my 2 holes right there. I'm going to take some string. You can use yarn. I just happen to have some green string, so I'm just going to take some off. And I'm going to run it through one side, and I'm going to double knot it. And I'm going to take the other end of the string, side. So I have quite a bit of string here, and it's nice too, because then you can measure and see how long of a string that you want. I think I'm going to go about like that. And double knot it on this side. And so there I have my watermelon Suncatcher. I'm going to take a little bit of tape. This one I used magenta and some light pink, and this is done with the plastic wrap. I'm going to go ahead and tape that next to the other one. So whatever you have on hand will work. The plastic wrap just is going to take some glue.